it's a huge safety net, and I would not recommend that any agency or any landlord lets a property without rent protection. You'd end up paying thousands in the end, plus your loss of rent, so it's not worth it.
The reason I'm offering the rent protection on all managed properties, most of the people, they pay the rent, but there are sometimes people that lose their job. These things can happen, and when it does happen, a landlord will lose out on rent. From day one that you've let the property until the end of the tenancy, you're protected. They don't pay for whatever reason, you'll get your rent paid anyway. And that gives them that sense of, I really have nothing to lose here. We will minimize their uncertainty about renting their property.
So I think it's important to recommend to your landlords that they take it, because actually the outgoings on it are relatively small in comparison to the impact that could have on you. I mean, can you afford to cover a mortgage every month as well as your own? Can you afford the court fees? Can you afford an eviction on a tenant? What if they don't pay the rent? What if you've got it empty for 2 months? Because you do never know. And even if you've got tenants that are completely employed, how do you know they're going to keep their job? How can you guarantee that they're going to move out? How do you know they're going to be honest with you that they can't afford the rent? There's all these things that you've got to think about as a landlord. So can you afford to take that hit? So I think it's really important that people consider it.
Rent protection is so important, and it covers you for everything. There is a lot of headache involved in dealing with a file. When your tenant defaults, you have to wait a certain amount of days, you have to make sure this notice is served, you have to make sure that's served. Whereas with Goodlord, because you've got rent protection, you just pass that across to Goodlord in the right time and they will progress the file, and that is at no other cost.
So we started offering rent guarantee insurance to landlords because actually I felt like Goodlord was a policy that I felt comfortable in recommending. We've had them before, and to be honest, my opinion of them was that they weren't worth the paper they were written on. But this one, much more reliable. They are really good value in comparison to what else is on the market in terms of rent guarantee insurance. They tend to be, I think they're about half the price.